So I'm going to be explaining the Ippb therapy, which is intermittent positive pressure breathing therapy. This is not the first choice of therapy. This is kind of like the last thing you do after all other options have been exhausted for the patient. So first thing I'm going to do, of course, is wash and sanitize my hands and apply the proper infection control gear that I need for that specific patient. And then I'm going to enter the room, introduce myself, and explain to the patient while I'm here what I'm doing and what the procedure is. I'm also going to check their wristband in the process of that to make sure I have the correct patient. And then I'm going to measure their vital signs. I'm going to get heart rate, respiratory rate, listen to breath sounds, check their vital capacity, their tidal volume, and their peak flow rate. And then I'm going to assemble the Ippb, but at first I'm going to assemble it with a mouthpiece so that I can test the function of it, make sure everything's working properly. And I'm going to adjust the settings. So for the flow, you put it on a moderate flow. For pressure, you put it at about 10, so it's pretty low. And then for the sensitivity, you make sure that it's not auto-triggering. And then I will fill the nebulizer and have the patient put the mouthpiece in their mouth and make sure they're forming a tight seal. If the patient can't form a tight seal, I'll switch to a mask for them. Or if they can form a tight seal, but they don't realize that they're breathing through their nose, I'll give them a nose piece to put on their nose. And then I will instruct them to inhale slightly until the machine triggers on, and I will note the inspiratory volume that is achieved then. And then I'm going to adjust the sensitivity as needed, which it can vary patient to patient. And I'm going to adjust the patient's flow to the max volume, which is going to be 2 to 3 times their tidal volume, which I got at the beginning. And I'm going to instruct them to breathe slowly so that they don't hyperventilate. So while they are doing the procedure, I'm going to be in the room monitoring them, monitoring their heart rate, respiratory rate, breath sounds, and look for any adverse reactions. If there is an adverse reaction, I'm going to completely stop the therapy and just assess the patient from there. But if not, I'm going to let the therapy finish out. After therapy, I will reassess the patient. So I'm going to reassess all the same vital signs. So heart rate, respiratory rate, breath sounds, vital capacity, peak flow rate. Then I will dispose of any infectious waste materials or just the disposable things, dispose of them, wash my hands, and make sure I chart all the therapy. Oh, and after they finish the therapy, after I assess vital signs, I'm going to have the patient cough. And I'm going to note any sputum production and note its consistency, its color, the amount, and put all that in their chart, along with all the vital signs and all the values and all the like volumes and stuff achieved. So dispose of the infectious waste, and then wash my hands and make sure the patient is good to go, make sure they don't have any questions, and then I will repeat the therapy later on with the same mouthpiece, mask, whatever that worked best for them.